So during the pandemic, when we were sheltering at home, I had just recently said to a girlfriend, the one silver lining of this pandemic is that I have 2 teenage boys stuck at home with me, and I don't need to worry about their safety. Until February 7th, 2021, believed that if any of my children were going to access drugs, they needed to know a drug dealer, know someone who knew a drug dealer, find a drug dealer, go to an area where there were drug dealers. I had no idea that drug dealers were reaching out to my son, accessing my son, and connecting with my son through Snapchat. And unbeknownst to us, as you heard, he was approached by a drug dealer who sent him a colorful menu of all sorts of pills and drugs that he would deliver to our door as easily as a pizza, and did so while we were asleep. And his brother and I found him dead on the floor on Super Bowl Sunday. I haven't cried all day, but as I walk through the halls of Congress with his ashes around my neck, if you'd asked me if I would be here 3 years ago, I would have thought you were crazy. And Sammy's law is not going to save Sammy. And his brothers aren't going to die through social media, but other children are dying every day. And so we're doing this for them. We're doing this to save other children from Sammy's fate and to save other families from the devastation that we have to live with every day. And this is a simple law. This is a simple ask. We aren't asking to take social media down. We aren't even asking social media to change, although Lord knows there's a lot they need to change. We want our children to have independence. We want our children to have autonomy. We want our children to be goofballs and to be able to explore. But we also know that good kids make bad decisions, and even more importantly, that there are dangers online. That when you allow, I had no idea before February 7th, 2021, that when we allow our kids on social media, it is the equivalent of dropping them off in the very, very, very most dangerous area with drug dealers and predators and pimps and sextortionists, and expecting them to be able to navigate it by themselves without parental supervision. And what Sammy's law would allow for is just those guardrails so that they can have the autonomy and freedom, but when they are crossing a line that is putting their lives in danger, when predators are approaching them that they may not even recognize, we can step in. And if we had had Sammy's law, which of course would not be called Sammy's law, when Sammy died, he would still be alive today. We would have been able to intervene, and the same is true of every parent in this room who has lost a child. So I'm so, so grateful for the support, and I am so full of prayers that the rest of the lawmakers will join us and see the common sense approach this takes and help us save children's lives, because the social media companies are not going to do it. They are not incentivized to do it. They don't care about our children. They only care about how many users they have, not about the well-being of their users. It is up to us. And until they are legally required to allow safety software, they are not going to. That's all I have to say.
The drug that poisoned our son started its journey in China, made its way to Mexico, where the cartels took over with the pill molds and the precursors that China sent, and they shipped it across into the United States with the help of social media, driving those people where they needed to go, and then to the drug dealers. And the drug dealers solved the last mile problem using Snapchat, using Instagram's instant messaging, TikTok, Facebook's instant messaging, Discord, the gaming platform. And don't forget the gaming platforms. They play with your children for months before they hit them up for some damage or drugs or sextortion. And they think they're with their best friend by then. And so they're trusting their children. As My wife says their corpus callosums haven't developed yet, so they're not making the right decisions, and we're supposed to protect them. But we need a bridge. We need a bridge from their technology into us. They're digital natives, and we aren't. We need a simple system, like exists, apps that will tell us if something dangerous happens on our children's devices. And we need programs that go across devices and across platforms. It can't just be on one platform or the kids will jump over to another. And that's what Sammy's Law does. It requires that all platforms with children allow for safety software integration, and that's the least they can do to put us back in the driver's seat when there's danger for our children. I don't want anyone to have to see what we saw. My son's football team covered him with dirt one at a time while we watched. I tried to resuscitate my son and failed. These are things no parent should have to witness. And I can tell you the PTSD that comes from that takes years to go away. We're here with other parents. They're all suffering the same. They've all had the PTSD. Some of them still do. It takes a long time. Time is the only cure when this happens to you. There are no tricks. There's no easy road. They found our son's killer, and they let him walk. And we've had to let go of the revenge piece and the justice piece and just hope that we can use his story to try and save other children. The children matter. Children don't have a party. This is bipartisan for a reason. Everyone wants the children protected, okay? So many are dying. It's time to do something about it. And I really praise the leaders who are with us here today, who are putting a stake in the ground and saying no more. We parents have been saying no more for a long time, and all of that screaming has finally reached the halls of Congress. And we can only hope that all the others who are here with these leaders will listen and vote our way and pass it on to the Senate and then to the President. It's time to do something about all the deaths. Please. I'd like to introduce the policy.